Tomo, go ahead and take over.
I want to switch up the whole. I don't even want to talk about what we had on the docket no more. The way you going, because we got too many serious conversations. Because you turned
Yeah.
up, we about to have some fun. But I mean, first things first, we got to address. I think Dave did this, but I'm not gonna say too much. I think Dave forced this guy into early retirement. I don't think he wanted to retire. I think Dave did it with the R2L chats. We got a Woj bomb that we weren't expecting. Some say the Woj bomb was a little too early. Some say the Woj bomb was right on time. Or maybe it was Davey Schefter. You know, the way he be dropping news, we be like, did Woj even report that? We got to go back after Dave and say, Dave confirmed it. I was just checking Woj to see if y'all got the information. It was announced today that Adrian Wojnarowski and me being on In the Red Corner saying that name right, you know it took some time. But, a prominent NBA insider and journalist announced that he is retiring. We got to react to it. I mean, we are in the media space. We do report news. We do report news right, correctly. It is fast, but it's correct. Sometimes it's a little incorrect. You know, we had a Joe bomb one time on here when he thought. I mean, BA got traded to the Commanders, but it's not yet. But I'm just saying. Just like you being 2-0 right now. It's loud and wrong, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. So we're gonna start off with the reaction, man. And because Dave, you drop all the news in the chats. I'm gonna start with you, man.
Man, look, first thing I gotta say is Woj, we appreciate what you've done for your entire career. Being the guy who was the guy to give the news when it comes to NBA sports. A lot of us are in the media to be able to give news because of guys like you. Guys like you, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Shams, those are the guys that give a lot of the news. And even guys in college like Joe Schultz, Joe Tipson. There's a lot of guys that don't get the I'm not going to say the praise, but don't get the platforms to really say that these are the guys that you want to talk to when it comes to these particular sports. You got Michael Benson and boxing. You got other guys in the UFC as well, guys that in soccer. But Woj, I mean, the two most popular sports in America are football and basketball. When it came to basketball, before Shams came along, it was you. You were the guy. You were the guy that everyone wanted to get the news from. You were the one that was on ESPN that announced the move with certain guys like LeBron James going to Miami, um, LeBron going to the Lakers. You've broken many news. Last bond was Okoro getting his contract with the Cavaliers. So he retired with the NBA, but he does have another career that he's going to. He's going to be the general manager of basketball for St. Bonaventure's men's basketball. So he's not away from the game. He just won't be, giving Woj bombs. He'll be more so involved into the basketball for a college, which is not a bad college, honestly, to be at. So he's doing something that he's proud of. And Woj, I just want to say thank you, man. That's my biggest thing is thank you for your platform and thank you for all the news. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to let these guys know early. And it was one because Joe had started this when he started the actual R2L, even though I have kind of sort of taken over everything because I do it for all sports. Joe started it. Joe was the one that did it. And I asked him, I said, hey, how are you getting all this news out? And he told me how he did it. So I just started to do that. And then now I follow things that we don't even report on right now. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying that we won't do it, but I follow tennis now and I follow golf. So I have those news. If anyone wants to, start talking about that stuff now, I actually have the news to actually bring that stuff out. So, just thank you, Woj. I appreciate what you've done for over 40 years for the NBA, and may you continue to have that success where you're going. It was definitely shocking. We wasn't expecting it, but thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
First, I want to say another apology to Miss Sabrina. All right. I just want to let you know that Dave don't really say your name. He called you wifey. So let you know what he thinks about you.
That's a good clean.
Wifey. And I didn't want to call you that, obviously. So I called you what I saw on the screen, but I'm too excited. It don't even say Bianca. You read it. So shout out to Miss Sabrina. All right. But when I actually meet you in person, I know you'll be a great young lady. I know you are because Dave is an awesome guy. Not mainly, but a lot of it because of you. Shout out to you. Woj, man, I appreciate you too, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Now I do want to say this. You left at the right time because Sham's coming, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna keep it light. All right, this is a good time for you because Sham's getting the best of your money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He was going now. The overnight news, you got him. But during the day, Sham be on point. I ain't gonna fake. But anyways, he left $20 million on the table. $20 million. In one of his quotes, he said, "Time isn't an endless. It isn't an endless supply. Like meaning time don't last forever. We gotta take advantage of the little time we have right now." Obviously, this is something that he really wanted to do, become a general manager. And Dave, you too, Tomo too, he posted news too. Don't y'all think getting these news on a daily basis, like we all get news, and they just beat us to it, and he followed way more sources than us too. They be fast. I don't know how he's quicker than me. Like what the heck is going on? But I still see the news. And because of that, I feel like my knowledge is better. As far as not of the game, but how GMs work, how owners, how they think, like we know the moves, we know what's going on and stuff like that. And Woj, with being in this position, the type of relationships he had to build, because he was doing this before Twitter. You know what I mean? Like he had he was putting stuff in the newspaper, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So you had to build relationships to gain sources to call you first to break an important news. So he's just a great example of that. And because of the relationships, he's going to be an awesome GM. Everybody, they love Woj. You know what I mean? So I want to say thank you to him also. And Shams, keep doing your thing. And then I see ESPN trying to grab him, trying to grab Shams now. All right. So, but a lot of people are following his lead. There are a lot of other reporters. So he set the pathway. He set the pathway for everybody to do this. Shout out to Woj.
Shout out to Woj. When it comes to just reporting news and getting stories and just hearing hearsay from other folks, and then you got to go report it, and then they got to take your word as credibility. Because once Woj or Shams report it, what's the first thing they do on ESPN? They'll be in the middle of a diehard Cowboys debate, and they'll be like, whoa. They just said that LeBron James is going to LA. Changed the whole concept. Then next thing you know, 5 minutes later, it comes out LeBron said he's not going to LA just yet. Blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. So for you to have to get your sources right and have sources on top of sources on top of sources that know the sources, that talk to the sources, that text the sources, and some of them pillow talk with those sources, just for you to get all that just to report. Because I'm telling you, that's how I feel when we report some of this news. Because it's like, bruh, did Dak really sign? I don't really know. Did CD really sign? I don't really know. Did BA sign? Or the BA drama alone lets you know that your sources can't be 100% unless it did come from Dave. Because Dave was on point the entire.
Exactly.
I didn't read the whole thing.
I reported what I knew to be facts. I didn't report no rumors. I reported what I need to be facts.
So yeah. So shout out to him for that one. But to see he is going over to being a GM, he went from getting the sources from GMs to being the actual source again. Because now he can leak stuff out about what he's planning to do. Think about him being a GM and kind of having like trying to see how I can relate this without bringing up a certain team. It's kind of like Jerry Jones, where he does his own radio show and he could just tell you what he's thinking. And now you think you have a reliable source in Jerry, and then he turns around and does the opposite. So now Shams could be that for this college team. And think of the media publicity that's going to now go with the team. But again, just to be a pillar in one of these things that we call sports is amazing. And to do it for so long and be on point for so long. I think he also has seen something that was happening with ESPN where it was just like, I've been doing this long enough. And I seen X go down. I seen Facebook not work too much. Sometimes everybody's moving over to streaming, and I ain't got time to be streaming. I'm too old with the technology. We all understand what happened with Uncle Shay. I'm going to just go do something else that I love. I'm going to go be a GM for a basketball team and just watch it. Like, I just want to watch from the sidelines. And I think that's what Woj is going to do. It's crazy that it was a Woj bomb that actually included him. But again, thank you for your contribution. Shams, I think you need 4 phones because I think something happened during the draft. I think Twitter went down and his phone died. Like, hey, you got to step it up, bro. That's all I'm going to say.
Shams.
He was good 2 years ago in the draft.
We got some stuff to talk about, my guy. Oh, the draft.
Miami Heat.
Oh my God.
Is that him?
I think it was.
And also, I do want to say this about Woj too. The fact that when he drops his bombs, he got a whole storyline, a whole story of the build up to what happened. Meaning, Woj don't really post, like you said, Tomo, unless it's legit. Yeah. Remember the Kawhi Leonard situation? People like, oh, the Clippers are out. It's the Lakers or Toronto. You know, Drake went through all this stuff, right? And then in the middle of the night, right after the earthquake, Woj bomb came through. And then he had a whole detailed facts about the backstory, what happened. I'm like, this dude, he's a credible source.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the other guys that do reports in the NBA. I know we talk about Shams and Adrian, but there's also Chris Haynes that does it as well. Very TNT. Known. You got Jake Fisher, who's another guy who's been talked about. You got Mark Stein, who's also been really good with the news. And there's another guy, Tim Bontemps, is another guy. So you got other guys that give the NBA news that you need to pay attention to. But Woj, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, shout out to Chris too, because Chris like to talk about the Kings and the Wizards, you know. So like anything.
Oh.
Yeah. They actually post stuff about all the NBA teams. Like they don't just focus in on two.
Yeah.
And he interviews guys too. And he gets detailed stuff. I like him.
Yeah, like when I found out y'all coach should have been our coach, but they didn't sign him. You know, stuff like that. But
Mike Brown.